Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Chat Reality. I'm Molly,
I'm Michael.
and today we're welcomed by a very special guest. Melanie Leason is coming on today to talk about Love Island with us. So, welcome, Mel.
Hello. Yes, I'm so excited to be here. I'm loving this season of Love Island USA.
Yes, and what was your first season of watching Love Island, and what's your background with reality TV overall?
Okay, so I've only been watching Love Island USA just this past season and then this current season because of how popular it was getting. And I just started watching it and I wasn't sure if I would be into it, but then I got super hooked immediately. And I made my ex boyfriend watch every episode with me of the entire season, which was really fun. And then with reality TV, okay, so I guess I started getting into reality TV when I was younger with the Kardashians, actually, which I think Molly, you were into
Mm.
them too with Keeping Up. But I'm not really a big fan of their Hulu show now. I haven't really been watching.
It's very different. It's a lot more like polished and it feels very like kind of I think like overproduced versus keeping up is the way I would describe it from what I've seen. So I get that.
So that's like the first exposure I ever had to reality TV. And then since then, I've seen a bunch of seasons of The Bachelor and Bachelorette, Paradise, and I've seen Housewives Salt Lake City as well.
That's the best one.
Yeah, so that's what I was put on to it. I was like, which one should I start with? They're like Salt Lake City, and I was like,
Yeah. It's
sold
the
now.
least to catch up on too. I
Yeah,
feel like, only 5 seasons
yeah,
versus like
yeah.
19.
So that's my reality TV experience.
Awesome. Well, all great shows. Well, let's dive in more into this season of Love Island. So, where we left off last week, we had just had the day that was going to be recoupling. So, we're going to go back and talk about all of that, what happened, and also what's happened all throughout the week. So, first up, we'll go through just the couples that did choose each other to be together this week. So we had Jeremiah and Huda, which obviously we thought that was going to happen. Taylor and Alandria, Charlie and Hannah, Ace and Amaya, Austin and Shelly, Nick and Sierra, and then Belle Dasha got sent home, unfortunately. So, what are your thoughts overall on this recoupling? And were you surprised to see Ace choose Amaya as well as Nick choosing Sierra? Or overall, just your thoughts on that, Mel?
Oh, I have a lot of thoughts on this. So, okay, I'm going to start with the Ace and Shelly and Amaya situation. It's funny because Amaya was just like, Ace is like a bestie and like a best friend. Clearly, she did not know Ace very well at all when she said that because when they were actually in a couple, I really don't understand why Ace picked her. I feel like it caused a lot of, I think he was just trying too hard at playing the game. That's like,
Hmm.
and I think Shelley was like happy with what Austin said about her in his speech, but I don't really know if she really wanted him to pick her. I think she was really waiting for Ace to pick her. And then once he picked Amaya, she was like trying to get excited about Austin, but I think I could see through it a little bit. Do you guys
Yeah.
agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah, I always feel like Ace felt like he had Shelly in his back pocket. Like where he could be like, okay, she's not really happy with Austin, so let's just kind of keep the status quo there. And I know that I have her as a backup if whoever I choose and want to, experiment with, try things out. If that falls flat, if that doesn't work out, I always have her in my back pocket that I can, couple up with at any time because she really likes me more than she likes Austin. Like I feel like that's kind of his mentality. So it's like, why go there now when I could just do that in a week or two once I've kind of gone through all the other options and just make sure nothing else is better, and then I could always just kind of go in that direction later on.
Yeah, I agree. I was shocked to see that, but I mean, then it created some drama for us to see during the week, so I'm not totally
True.
mad about it. But I think I really did want to see Ace and Shelly together, but I mean, maybe we'll see that eventually. But as right now, that's what Ace decided on, and but it just didn't turn out the way he wanted it to. But it was definitely interesting to see that happen.
But that's what you get when you try to play the game like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I really was though. Like, I was surprised. Like, I really did go into that recoupling thinking Ace was going to choose Shelly. I mean, I think Molly, we talked about that last
Yeah.
week. I was kind of like when we were trying to figure out what the who was going to go home, like what the pairings were going to be. Like, I think we both said like Ace is probably choosing Shelly. So
Mhm.
that was a surprise, and it's just kind of me going back thinking about it later, where I'm like, yeah, that probably was his mentality. But at the time, I really didn't think that that was going to happen that way.
yeah.
Yeah, and then Nick choosing Sierra over Baldasha, that was also a wild one because I mean he was leading on Baldasha a ton. Obviously, we saw that, but it did seem like lifestyle wise that Sierra and Nick were just more compatible in certain ways.
Yeah.
So I think it did make sense for him, but I was sad to see Baldasha go home because she was great to see on TV.
I know I'll miss her. I don't know. I definitely think I think once we keep talking about the week, I feel like Sierra really was acting a certain way in order to get him to pick her, and then it made things made her attitudes may have shifted a little. Her personality may have shifted a little bit after Bella left. I was kind of noticing that a little bit.
Yeah, it seemed like he was definitely she was more willing to hold him accountable after
Yes,
Baldasha
exactly. She
left.
was kind of like doing anything he wanted, being like, you can talk to whatever, like playing into all the stuff that his
Yeah,
needs. I felt like before, and then afterwards, she kind of completely changed the way she was acting.
yeah, I agree with that. No, I think that I really didn't know which way he was gonna go. Like I felt like he felt more he'd obviously known Baldasha longer, so like I felt like he maybe felt a little more comfortable with her, but it felt like kind of is that more of just like a friendship thing? Like is is he more sexually attracted to Sierra and more like kind of it felt like he felt like that was the less safe choice, but maybe the one that felt more exciting. And so I think that in that moment, he just kind of went with that part of him versus the one that like I'm not going to go with the safe choice. So yeah, I was sad to see Baldasha go. I know there were all the speculation that she was going to come back potentially because all of her interviews after the show were on Zoom and nobody had spotted her back home yet. But I think that was really just her waiting to do After Sun, and then it seems like now she's coming home. So I don't think that's happening, but maybe Love Island Games this fall.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We'll see. But hopefully she'll be posting on TikTok also and her thoughts throughout the season. So that'll be fun just to watch
She's been,
her.
yeah, I recommend her interviews. She has no media training, no filter. Like,
I
she
haven't seen
is just
that. I
saying
think
whatever. I love
Yes,
that for her.
I know. It's great to see that. Well,
really
let's like,
honest.
oh, what were you saying, Mel?
Was she like being really honest when she was watching this? Did she watch? Do you know? Did she watch the show?
I don't think
I
she's seen
don't
it
think
back.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, not yet, but she just knows what happened in her life so
Yeah.
far.
Right. And she like was like they were asking her like, "Oh, like, do people really call Huda and Jeremiah the parents or whatever?" Like they were asking her all the questions that like, she doesn't have to watch to know the answers to type of thing, but it seemed like she was being very honest in her answers and not like PC, like kind of not really answering things. And that's kind of what I expected from Beldasha, just like kind of based on what we saw in the villa. But she seems like totally different person now. It's like she is very honest and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now
I,
that
I
she has
tell
more
you.
freedom.
Yeah.
But now we can get more into the specific couples that we had this week. So Charlie and Hannah, they seemed going into this week. Actually, I felt like they were one of the strongest couples, even stronger than Huda and Jeremiah. But now we see that there's a new bombshell coming in, Pepe, who is causing up some complications for Hannah. It seems here, just going between the two guys. But what are your thoughts overall on them as a couple, Michael?
Um, I thought they were gonna be the boring study couple kind of throughout this season. Like, if you kind of like, I mean, compare it to like a Bachelor in Paradise, I would thought, okay, they'll be like the Jade and Tanner, like the ones who are the very steady couple, but like not really the most exciting. And then Pepe comes in, and suddenly Hannah is exciting to watch. She is very torn. And yeah, I think that she's really in the direction of wanting to go with Pepe, it seems like. And, we're just FYI, we were recording this on Sunday, but before the Sunday episode drops. So we don't know what America voted for yet. We don't know who's going home or what's kind of going on there. But I would think that America is choosing Hannah for Pepe, and that they are going to be recoupled together, and that's going to be pretty exciting to see what that means for Charlie. I think Hannah seems to be his only connection right now. So is he going home? I don't know. I could see it, but
Didn't he
yeah.
like Chloe at one point?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
I don't know that that
Or
really
did
went anywhere.
it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, so I don't know that that's but yeah, no, I really thought that they were Charlie and Anna were going to be the strong couple before Pepe came in, but yeah, that seems to have thrown a wrench into that relationship. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Mel?
That I thought it was really surprising that she hit it off with one of the bombshells, even though she's like, I don't know. I just thought that she was like going to be kind of like Huda, like in a way, like, oh, just getting attached immediately to like the first person that she had like a physical and like emotional connection with right off the bat. I kind of just was like, saw it as being one of those couples, like that was just like, so I was like, oh, wait, maybe she's not as attached. Maybe she's open. Maybe she's like maybe there's some more to it. I mean, you never really know like what's going on in those couples, like how happy it really is she with Charlie. Like the edits we see, they look like they're on the honeymoon and they're obsessed with each other. But like, is that all the time, or was that just one time that they're showing us a lot? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we'll have to see also what happens with tonight's episode, but I do think also that America voted for Hannah to be coupled up with Pepe, so that's gonna cause some rifts there. But I feel
Who
bad
did
for
Pepe
Charlie.
say his number one was?
Um,
Like before when he was walking in as a bombshell? Ooh, I don't remember.
I think he said Sierra and Hannah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
well, that worked out with one of them.
Yeah. I mean, he also was having conversations with Sierra, but it
Yeah.
doesn't seem like they were as much into each other as Hannah and Pepe were.
Yeah, that was like a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that worries me a little bit because I feel like that was just such like a quick connection that I don't feel like they really got to know each other, and it worries me that like they're like that's the last thing that we saw on Friday night's episode, and so I think the viewers are very much like that's the last thing in their mind, and they're gonna pair up Pepe with Hannah, which I mean makes sense because who else would they pair him up with? They have to do
And then
somebody.
Charlie connection was the same way. It was
That's
also
true. I
they
guess
didn't.
now it feels like they've had more time and they're still like they still were strong until Pepe came in. So like that worries me a little bit that like she's gonna go with Pepe and just go all in and just ditch Charlie, and then like that's very quickly they're gonna realize like, oh, maybe we don't actually have anything in common and we just kind of like we're like in lust with
Yeah.
each other, and then it's gonna kind of like crumble very quickly, but who knows.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we never know. I feel like in Love Island, it's like either they crash and burn or they
Yeah.
continue, and it's great. But we'll have to wait to see what happens there. But moving into our next couple, Taylor and Alandria. So with them, it seems like Taylor is putting in more of an effort now, as she had voiced that she wanted him to show more affection and all of that, which was nice that he was respecting that boundary because she had set like, well, I'm more of a burner here, so that was nice. But now it just seems more also that maybe they're just not really meant for each other, and it's interesting pairing here. But also now we obviously have a bombshell that's causing some more drama with that. So it's exciting to see now that Jalen is here and how that's impacting this relationship now. So, what are your thoughts, Mel, on Taylor and Alandria?
Well, I like that there's like more country people this season than last season. There was just red. Like now I'm like living
Yeah.
for this is America. This is Love Island, USA. There's a little bit from other countries. I'm like this is what I'm here for. Um, yeah. My question is, is Olandria attracted to Taylor? And is Taylor attracted to Olandria? They're not making it clear that if either of them are attracted to each other. And I'm like, what do you guys think?
No.
No, just
I
no.
don't. I don't think they are. I think they're trying to both make themselves be attracted to each other because I think they really do like get along and like each other as people. But I just don't think that there is any sort of sexual attraction there for
Not
either of them.
true.
And I think they're trying too hard to make it happen, and it's just not naturally there. So I think that's why like we're seeing kind of Taylor, or sorry, Alandria like really seem to kind of brighten more when Jalen is around, and I think that she's finally like, okay, this is somebody who maybe will be really into me and who I can really, like actually grow a connection with here. That's more than just being like best friends, and so I hope that will be the case for her and for them there.
Yeah, because I think she was like, I want you to be more affectionate, but did she want that? Like, I wasn't really understanding
Yeah.
the attraction and chemistry between them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that she makes more sense being with Jalen at this point. So I think also the America's vote probably is that it's Alandria being paired up, being coupled up with Jalen here. So we'll have to see what happens with Taylor. But I don't want him to leave because he's really entertaining. Like I like watching Taylor, even if it's not if like just him
He's so
himself.
sweet and he's
Yeah,
so fun. Yeah.
I know, but who would he get coupled up with now?
a bombshell, a new
Well,
one.
but we have a recoupling tonight. Like,
Oh,
there's no more bombshells coming in before that.
yeah. So I
I
don't
just don't
know.
see who else he
He might,
would.
him and Charlie might end up with someone who, like, in the end, like, one of them might like, they're not, two people aren't going home tonight, right?
I don't know the answer to that. Like, I really don't know because this is different than a recoupling that we've ever seen. Like, we've never had America vote in this way, so I really don't know exactly how it's going to
Yeah,
work
so
out.
they could both go home. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't know. But I just don't see anyone else that would be a potential option for him right now until more people come in. So, yeah, no, but I don't know that I see Alandria and Jalen necessarily as like a forever couple on this show, but I think that they certainly have more potential to last as a romantic coupling than Taylor and Alandria do at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because it
So,
really seemed like, oh, sorry, another point that I wanted to make was just that, like, we see Taylor putting in more effort now that Jalen came around. And I think that really says a lot that that's what caused him to make more of an effort when he thought, oh,
So
shoot.
sick of it. She's on it. She's like, hell no.
Yeah, like that, the intentions there are clear when that's the timing of you now actually putting in an effort to do things for me. And, so that's
yeah,
the last thing that I wanted to say was about that.
yeah. He's like, well, if I want to stay, I have to do this now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll have to wait to see what happens. But I'm excited just for Landria. I feel like she's now getting what she wants, so that's exciting for her.
Yeah.
Um,
And we love Elandria. She's one of my favorites.
Same.
She is. Taylor, like, I feel like he's just like a shy guy. Like, he hasn't really tried to explore connections because he didn't want to. Maybe he didn't want to upset Alandria. Maybe he's just shy. Like, I feel like he just hasn't like gone out of his shell. I feel like is what the
Hmm.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I did see in some interviews though that Belladesha said Taylor was talking to her or like was maybe trying to be interested in her also before
Oh.
like yeah, I saw that on the Vile files.
Okay, I
Um
did not watch the entire thing, but
okay. But yeah, so that was interesting, but now that she's gone, then he couldn't explore that obviously. So that was an interesting one just to hear that he was interested in Belladesha as well.
well, aren't we all? Beldasha, everyone should be into Beldasha.
Exactly.
Queen.
Well, let's move into Nick and Sierra. So we start off this episode after the recoupling episode that we hear Landria accidentally spills the beans about Nick and Beldesha kissing in Soul Ties the night before the recoupling. And Sierra was in the room and she didn't know this happened. which was crazy that Nick didn't share that yet. But also happened like right before she also had that moment with Nick, so that wasn't really that great. But I mean, he does clear the air then, and Sierra seems to forgive him like pretty quickly. Like I was surprised by that.
So quickly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. No, I loved Alandria's face when she realized, like, I'm not sure, like, do y'all know if she didn't realize that Sierra was in the room, or did she just think that Sierra already knew about it?
I think she thought she knew.
Yeah, that's the impression I got too. Because I'm like, how could she not have known that she was there? But it really seemed like she just like turned her head and then like was like, oh, like you just immediately like realized what she had done. But that was kind of an amazing moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that that she probably hasn't forgotten that with Nick, but realizes like, okay, maybe like this is like strike one. Like, we'll let this one go for now, but if something like this happens again, if I find out about something else that you don't tell me, like, then we have a problem. So I hope that's what happened and it's not just her, like, automatically totally forgetting about it.
Yeah, I mean, Nick does come off a certain way when he's being like faced with his accountability with what happened. He really talks a certain way. I'm like, I've seen this before.
I think we've seen this film before, yes.
I know. And now
Unable to
Sierra.
explain themselves.
Mhm. For sure. And I feel like Sierra just really just wants to move past it too, because she's like, well, he was in this love triangle. Now that he chose me, like, I should see past it and just try to move on from it, even though she is probably still thinking about it. Obviously, it's a note in her head, but not as much like in the forefront of her mind, which is good. I feel like that's healthy for her just and moving on from the situation of that. But obviously, with new bombshells coming in, that's gonna cause some more trust issues there, probably with them, which we also have seen now. Nick also had a conversation with Iris, and he seems very into Iris as well. So he's just turning his head always, it seems like.
Definitely very open to like immediate physical attraction. It seems like that's something that's really he's very open about it. Other people may be thinking it, but he seems to be really talks about it.
Yeah, which I appreciate that honesty. Actually, it's like, well, at least he knows what he's doing, and it is that he knows he's attracted to people, and he's not shying away from that.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with him exploring new bombshells, connections with the new bombshells when they come in. Like, I think that's the point of being on Love Island. But the only thing I have a problem with is when he's telling both of them, the same things, not telling the other one about the fact that how into, how much he's exploring with the
50%,
other.
80%, 20. What do you
Oh
think of
my
that
God.
behavior?
When Beldasha was like, "Yes, I'm 50%." Like I was like, "Oh my god, please get some self-esteem." Like I'm one to talk, but like, that was sad to hear.
Just
Yeah.
the way that he talks like that about these women is to them and behind the. I don't love the direct comparison.
Yeah, yeah, no, I think that as long as he's honest with all parties involved and is, well, to a certain extent, we don't need that much honesty necessarily, but like,
We're now percent.
yeah, yeah, maybe let's not put numbers on things, but but no, like I hope that he will be honest with Sierra about the fact that he's, potentially into exploring things with Iris, and who knows if that'll go anywhere. But if it does, then as long as he's open about what his intentions are, what he's doing with each of them, then, more power to him to explore those options.
Yeah. No, we'll have to see. Because, I mean, I don't know. Like, we've had some conversations with Iris and Nick, but it seems like Iris is more into Ace at this point. But then America's voting for Jeremiah to be coupled up with Iris to cause that drama there. So,
Is that what the numbers say?
well, probably.
That's what the social media is saying at the very
Yeah.
least. Yeah. So I mean, who knows? Like, but
Nope. Iris go for Austin. Like I don't understand. My king is getting slept on.
Yeah, no, I don't think that after that last conversation with Nick, with Iris, I don't think that's really gonna go anywhere, to be honest. Like, it really felt like they had nothing to talk about. Like, it was just kind of, I don't know, Nick's conversations in general could sometimes be a little uncomfortable to watch, but I don't think that her conversation with Nick was nearly as natural. There didn't seem to be as much chemistry with him as there was with Ace for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, speaking of Austin, your favorite Mel,
Austin, I do.
Austin and Shelly are coupled up, as we were saying, but it was interesting because starting the week off, I really didn't see them having that much of a romantic connection. But now it seems that they are building that more, and he's putting in more of an effort with her, and really upset about the love triangle that he's in, which I was surprised by too.
And
And
starting to
we
take him seriously and that he's ramping up his effort.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see them going through that stage right now. But I still feel like Shelly should be with Ace. But I don't know. I like Austin, but I just don't like Austin and Shelly together.
I don't like Austin and Shelly together because I know that as soon as Shelly gets her phone, they're breaking up. And that's the issue that I have with it. If I didn't know about Austin's social media before the show and his opinions on certain things and things he's reposted on TikTok, I think I would be more into them as a
Wait,
couple.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I just that's what it sucks is that like I feel like we're watching this potential connection for nothing because as soon as Shelly gets her phone, they're done. So it's like it's pointless to like see what's going to happen in there because it's only going to like it's hard to watch because for me it's because it's like that's just how much more hurt she's going to be when she gets out of there. And that's what's sad is that you kind of know what's the ending is going to be. And so I that's why I hope that they both go in other directions now to avoid that. And so then she can be like, "Oh, dodged a bullet," rather than like, "Oh my God, I just wasted the last 35 days."
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I mean, we know what he's reposted, but from the show itself, like, it's fun to see his personality like evolve as well, and showing like more sides of him than like we'd seen before. I felt like before he was more shy, but now we get more of these meditations and
Wait,
those.
I forgot that he had that side to him before. I was just like, wait, he's
Oh, sorry. No, 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 no. On the show, like I think everybody's like feels really bad for him right now. Like that's a very like, typical thing that I think people are feeling. It's just kind of that thing in the back of your mind that's kind of like, oh, I can't fully get invested in that.
and then people who are coming in as bombshells maybe already know this about him.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
very true. And I don't know if we've started getting bombshells yet who have been able to watch the show before they had to leave for Fiji. I would think that if we haven't, then that will be like the next set of bombshells for sure. Um, but yeah, that'll be interesting because hopefully they can warn her.
Yeah. No, we'll have to see. But I still want Shelly to choose Ace. Team Ace for Shelly. But not Team Ace for Amaya, obviously. So we can move
We're not
into.
doing it for Iris either.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But with Amaya and Ace, it was interesting to see that just immediately go downhill. Um,
He really said he's like a bestie to me. I can't believe we're matched up. I'm so happy.
Wild.
Yep. But then Ace immediately sets boundaries with Amaya after the recoupling, and then it upset Amaya because she was happy about him picking her. But then he was like, "Well, I'm still wanting to explore other people." And so, what were your thoughts on that? Do you think Ace gave her a shot, or just immediately was like, "All right, I don't like you"?
We just didn't vibe. I think he
Yeah.
was trying to say something and she could have taken it. She took it like in the worst possible way, and then he took that in the worst possible way. They just like didn't like they just couldn't connect like intellectually.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that Ace ever chose Amaya with the intention of actually exploring things with her. I think that he chose her just thinking like, okay, we'll get along, we'll be fine, but Shelly's really the one that I want at the end of the day. And so I think he maybe thought that he could be more, I don't want to say pretend to be into her, but like kind of go through the motions with her. And it just kind of biding his time until he can pull Shelly. But I think that immediately he realized, oh my God, I can't do that. And it's not fair to Amaya. Like, she really didn't do anything wrong to warrant the way that Ace was treating her. And that really sucks for Amaya. And I felt really, really bad for her. But I just don't think that he ever picked her or anything with the intention that this could actually turn into something. And he just realized very quickly after their first conversation after that that he's like, oh no, I can't even like pretend to do this. Like, don't touch me, don't call me babe, don't
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 even hurt
don't
me
anything.
once.
Like, I mean, it's so obvious she's been calling everyone a babe. Like, that doesn't mean anything. It's like saying man, dude, bro, whatever he calls his friends. Like, it's the same exact thing. And I mean, it's just wild how they are just the most incompatible people that could possibly ever exist.
Yeah, no, it's crazy when Ace confronts her and saying how he doesn't like when she calls him babe, and she's just like, "Sorry, babe. Oh, whoops, like I didn't mean to say that."
Sir, sorry, sir.
But I know it just doesn't make sense for them. I mean, obviously, like then Ace even moves his stuff to not even sleep with her. But Amaya, I think, also maybe overreacted in ways here too. That I'm like, well, yes, like obviously you had different expectations of what you thought your relationship was with Ace. He had different thoughts overall on that as well. So you kind of have to just accept that and move on. Don't cause a scene or like make it so that everyone else is like, oh, what's she gonna do next? Like making it so that now people are scared to like even say something to Amaya because they're like, how is she gonna react? So that maybe put off some of the other guys who want to explore with her. But I don't know, just it was interesting seeing all this unfold this week. It was just lots of drama.
Yeah, and I think that's right. I think that she probably should have kind of gotten the hint after like their second talk, like the babe talk when that started. I think that they had at least one, maybe two conversations after that that also turned into arguments, and I just think those were probably unnecessary. Like I think that she probably should have realized after that one where he said like don't call me babe, whatever, and then that one ended really badly that like this isn't gonna work. Like this, there's no chance that like this is
A little,
going to
a little.
like turn into anything. Yeah, like I think that that probably should have been where she was like, okay, let's just kind of decide we're not gonna work out. Let's just explore other options.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Mel?
Yeah, I mean, she even started getting mad at Shelly for him pursuing Shelly,
Oh
not
yeah.
even for anything she did. And she wouldn't even let Shelly get a word in, which is, I understand if you're like if you're in like a hard place, but she could have gotten the hint even from his actions with that she found out about. But yeah, but eventually she found out. She's like, he's my enemy. I love that. That was funny. Um, yeah, so it ended
And
up
they still had to do the game together, and like,
to do this together.
yeah,
And I do like I love Shelley. I do understand why Amaya was upset with her though, because I do think that Shelley, because apparently they knew each other outside of the villa. Like I don't know how well they knew each other, but like she even said it. If you and I only listened, I realized this when I re-listened to that where she said like, "Look, Shelley, like we know each other outside of this." Blah blah. Like, she said that, and like it was very kind of like easy to miss, but she did mention that, and there were rumors
yeah, I
about
didn't
it
realize that.
that like they had like been liking each other's Instagrams years ago. And I don't think they knew each other well. Like I don't think they were friends, but like they somehow had some sort of connection where they followed each other on social media before this. And so I do think that Amaya probably expected Shelly, like, because she probably knew, because she was a late addition, so she probably went into it knowing that Ace and Shelly knew each other. And so I think that she probably expected Shelly, if she was still interested, they probably had some sort of conversation, I would think, like where she was like, Shelly, are you still potentially going to explore things with Ace? And Shelley probably made it sound like, oh no, like I hope you should go for him. Like I'm
Ace
good, blah blah
is
blah.
this charmer getting all the ladies. I can't even.
I know, I know. But like that's kind of just my guess is that she probably made it sound like to Amaya that like, no, you're good, go for him. And then Amaya realizes when Shelly and Ace are like still like he's making her breakfast, they're kissing in the like challenge, blah blah blah, where it's like, oh no, maybe they do have like this potential still where they both want each other and Shelley minimized that to me. And so I could see that like that would be hurtful where it wasn't like a direct lie. I don't think Shelley like intentionally lied to her, but probably kind of minimized it and then Amaya's realizing, "Oh no, wait, maybe I never really had a shot here."
Yeah, I see that. I feel like it's obviously not a great situation, but they're also on Love Island, and it's like you're supposed to explore
Yeah.
multiple connections. And Amaya, I think, was making it seem very personal to
Especially
her, even
Amaya wasn't even it wasn't even working out that well with Amaya. It's not like they were like it's not like they were like having the best time ever, and then he
Mhm.
out like they were having the worst time ever.
Yeah,
yep.
that's very true.
Yeah. But now we also see Ace and Iris forming a connection. So it's interesting their conversations. Now I'm like, wait, do I like Iris with Ace? Like, I'm kind of into it, but I also want to see Charlie with Ace. So
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know what my thoughts are. But I do think that this will continue in some regard. Like, I don't know if it's not gonna let us like stop even if they're not coupled up together. But what are your thoughts, Mel, on Iris and Ace together?
I think they seem like they are getting along well from their first conversation. I don't know who I see Iris with. Like in my brain, I don't see it, but I'm like, maybe it could be something. I definitely don't see Iris with Jeremiah. I don't know how I feel about Jeremiah at all with anyone because I think I got the ick for him a little bit and with some so I don't know. I also don't know how I feel about Shelly because Shelly I feel like is being a little bit too passive in this in her own journey. Like I want to see Shelly. I feel like I can't even tell if she's into anyone. You know? What do you
Yeah,
think?
I think I just want Ace and Shelly to explore things before he moves on with anyone else. Like, I
Yeah.
think they just need to decide, are we going to move forward in this together and try to make this work with each other? Or are we going to fully split and decide we are going to both explore other options and not have each other in the back of our minds throughout all of it? Because I feel like if they don't fully try to do that, then they will just be wanting each other secretly and never fully being able to commit to anyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's I think they need to just like be yeah, they need to hash that out.
Yeah.
I agree. It's been this long already of them not being a couple that they need to just explore it together and then see if it's working or not working. But we'll have to wait to see what happens. We'll see that tonight of who gets coupled up with Iris and then what's going to happen after that. But I'm excited for that to come up this week. And now, last but not least, let's get into Jeremiah and Huda. So there's a lot to go into with them. We had lots of airtime seeing them having some turmoil. And also the other castmates also sharing their thoughts and getting other people's opinions into this was interesting as well, not just like seeing them having conversations but then hearing others being like, well, what's even going on with them. So for example, we had Alandria saying that she thought they were moving too quickly.
She always
um,
does that.
yeah, and then she had a conversation with Jeremiah to make sure that he understands what he's getting into with Huda having a child, which I thought that was like a very real conversation she was having too, because like she grew up with a single mom, so she knows that sacrifice and like that takes up a lot from someone. So obviously, like I think Alandra was right to have those concerns and voice those, but then I mean Jeremiah still seems to be okay with it from that conversation though. He's like, well, yeah, like we can see past that. I can see past that. Like I like kids, like it's all good. But it does seem like he still does have those concerns, like in this moment, like he's like still thinking that, like, okay, yeah, maybe this is a lot, but not wanting to actually say that.
Yeah, I think that Alandria, I mean, people, Huda says like, oh, people call me the mom in the villa and Jeremiah the dad, but I think Alandria is really the mom of the villa. It seems like everybody goes to her with their concerns and just really respects her opinion on everything. And yeah, I think she gave great advice here. It seemed like when Nick found out, which was one of my favorite moments of this week, was Nick finding out. I'm sorry, like I know this is a little bit off topic, getting ahead, but like that conversation, which I just need to reenact for a second, of Huda saying, I'm a mommy. And then he just goes, Mommy? And then she goes, I'm a mommy. And he's, Mamacita? It's like mom of a dog? Like, are you like a mom of a vacuum? Like, what, just every possibility except for mom of a child, a human child. And it's just that was one of my favorite conversations of Love Island. But yeah, it seemed like he kind of, once he actually figured it out that it was a mom of a child, a human child, he also kind of had similar advice for Jeremiah. So it seemed like everybody is expressing that to him, which I think is great, that they're not just like telling him what he wants to hear, but being real with him. And I think that it seems like he is saying that he's okay with it. I don't know if he really is, but I don't know if, weeks down the line he's gonna like actually wake up and realize, no, this isn't what I want. But it does seem like everybody is, being very real with him, which I respect.
I don't know if it's the kid that's the problem.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that.
Okay, he may be okay with it, like for now. I mean, outside the villa, I don't know, but like, yeah.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, then we also, I feel like because of it's not just the kid involved now, it's more of just Huda's reactions to things or her expectations and her just saying that, like, to Jeremiah, you're doing great, but then Jeremiah not liking hearing that because he thinks that she's talking to a child or a dog when she tells him that. And then also with the pancake situation of it all, which caused up a lot a lot of drama for just not making pancakes that were cooked. And I just think they're just on two different wavelengths right now. And like also Jeremiah had shared that he might pursue other people. Like he can't promise that he wouldn't change that because as of right now he wasn't. Which I thought that was a real conversation too. I was like, well, yeah, like I mean, you're not sure what's going to happen. It's better to say now that maybe something could happen instead of then getting down the line and then you try to pursue someone and then it blows up more.
Is it
Um,
really fair though to say that when you're talking about how you want to live with this person and maybe get married and like telling them all that, and then at the same time being like, but we can't be boyfriend and girlfriend, we can't be closed off? Like, is that really a fair situation to put Huda in?
I I think that this was smart of him if he isn't fully 100% in. Because I think that there is still such a possibility. There's so many more people to come in. Like there's everything with Casa Amor. There's going to be a lot of people before and after that come into this villa. And I think that he is putting himself right now, he's kind of like not 100% committing so that when later down on the line someone does come in that really catches his eye, that, look, if it's way down the line and at that point he's ready to commit, then great. He'll change, he'll let her know that, I guess. But I think right now he's like, well, I don't want to inadvertently lie to you right now because then that's going to be a bigger problem when, I'm saying this early on that I'm 100% in and then later then it's like, oh, well, actually, I didn't realize that she was gonna come in. Like, so, I think that I get it. Like, I think that the pace that she's moving at, I think, is just a lot faster than he is, and she's ready to commit and ready to, like, close off and everything. I don't think that he's quite there yet, so at least I'm glad that he's being honest about that now versus lying to her and pretending or convincing himself that he's ready and saying all these things that then he has to walk back later.
But he already is saying a lot of those things. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think he could have just not said some of the things he was saying,
That's true. No, I think that's true. I think that he's probably
dating her on, that
yeah.
he's seems like he might be open to the faster pace when he talks like that to her.
Yeah. No, I think that's true. I think he's probably said things that he shouldn't have in based on other things that he has said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see just then like what's causing these issues is like really small things that then Jeremiah is like, well, if this is happening now and her reactions to not putting in like all the effort that she wants to see, which like he thinks he's doing what he should be, but she doesn't think it's up to par, or like comparing it to the other relationships that are in the
People
house.
fighting for their lives to stay in the villa.
Yeah. Like for them, I feel like it makes sense to be more chill. Like it's like at that point, like why are you like you don't need to do all that crazy stuff, but she wants to be treated like she's a princess. And that is not what Jeremiah wants to do. So it's just
Yeah.
an interesting situation there.
Oh my God, when she was like, "Eat your food, you're a man, finish your food." I was like, "Oh my gosh, she really does treat him like a child in a lot of ways."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that she could maybe work on.
Yeah. No, I think that I one of the most telling moments I think but about their dynamic and their relationship was during the I don't know what they called it where they were all tied up and in like the laser
Oh,
whatever and they were sitting in the on the couch and she was like complaining. I forgot exactly what it was that she was complaining to him about, but it was like even in this moment where they're like during a challenge, or I don't know if that was considered a
I think they were at
challenge.
the fire pit, right?
Yes, they were at the fire pit. Yes.
Talking about like, why don't you do stuff for me, or we need to whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, it was something that like that they were complaining about. It was just like this is a moment where like we should put all the couple problems aside because this is supposed to be like a fun moment. And I think that she has this inability to like kind of put things on the back burner for a moment and just enjoy the situation. And I feel like that's going to really get to him where it's like this constant just like you're not doing enough. You're not like, this is a problem and it's like okay, I understand that, but let's just like enjoy these next like hour or two that we're here and like we'll talk about that later. And I just don't think she has the ability to do that. And he does, which I think is gonna be like this battle for as long as they're together.
I know she's trying to like train him into something he's not. There's he's not
Yeah.
at this point, and like she's spending way all her whole experience is becoming that because I think it's also the environment they're in is high pressure.
Oh, for sure.
Like maybe a lot of people would act like that if they were dating someone and they were in a place like that, but it's she needs to have some fun. They need to have some fun for the
Yeah.
relationship to work. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. And then they go back to their beds though and they're super intimate. So I'm like, well, are they just trying to mask up their problems right now?
But then
But
even in bed, she's like, "Would you let me share your location with me?" And it's
yeah.
Oh,
like,
sorry. Oh my gosh, that was a lot.
yeah, no, it feels like every moment is just like her finding things that like she probably knows he's gonna say no or is gonna be an uncomfortable question. It's like, let's just like enjoy for a second. Let's have fun for a second. And I just don't think that she quite has that ability at this moment because she's probably like you're right. It's a high pressure situation and she's that really letting that get to the best of her and like constantly paranoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And it's going to be crazy to see what's going to happen with this recoupling, though, and who votes for the bombshells to pair up with, or who the bombshells pair up with, because I feel like because of the situation happening, everyone's just anti Huda right now and wanting to break up Jeremiah and Huda.
Wait,
So
I feel like both of them. Yeah, I feel like
we'll see.
both of them have people are kind of like not feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's probably just because of Jeremiah's situation with Huda. Like maybe Jeremiah will be different with someone else, but we just don't know because he hasn't tried to explore anyone else. Um,
Yeah, it was like first kiss and then one.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I think that more than likely, yeah, they're going to pair Iris with Jeremiah. And I'm excited to see Huda's reaction to it, of course, but I think this is a little short-sighted of people, and I voted for it too. So like, don't get me wrong, I'm part
It's
of the
over.
problem. But I think that now that I really think about it, I think this is short-sighted because I think we would have gotten an even better, more long-lasting reaction if we waited till Casa Amor to do this.
Yeah.
And it
Mhm.
would have happened naturally and not from America. And I think that it would be even better because then she could fully blame Jeremiah for it, whereas now she'll be like, oh, well, she'll have a freak out, but it's not Jeremiah's fault. So I don't think that we're going to get quite the reaction that we're looking for here.
I think it's gonna the healthiness of their relationship's gonna come up soon. Like
Yeah.
anyway, they're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
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 We'll
And
see.
Casa's a long time from now. Maybe they wouldn't even be together anymore. So maybe this is our last chance. Like I get that too. So, maybe in the end this would have been for the best. But who knows? I'm excited to see.
I know. I'm really excited. I just hope that Huda then doesn't go home because then we won't get more of that aftermath of the reaction if whoever doesn't get coupled up tonight like is gonna end up being sent home, which I don't want to see that happen either. So I'm not
Actually,
sure.
people might end up like she might end up with Charlie. She might end up with Taylor. Like you never know what's gonna happen if she doesn't end up with Jeremiah. There's other options for everyone. As
Hmm.
like friend couple, those happen.
Yeah. I feel like they wouldn't get rid of Huda just because of what will happen.
Oh, and I meant to bring this up earlier. This has nothing to do with Huda and Jeremiah, but I did forget to talk about it. I've seen a lot of people online standing Nick and Alandria. What do y'all think about that?
Oh. I don't know. I'm not I'm not opposed to it, but I also I don't see it right now.
I think it's a little hard to see, but I do kind of understand it in a way. Like I do feel like when they talk, there is some sort of like connection there, but I almost feel like it's more brother sister than anything else.
Yeah, do they talk? They don't like talk. They talk as
Not a
well.
ton, but I think Ariana brought this up on After Sun last night that they did kiss in the first
Oh,
episode, the
yeah, she was
blindfolded
there.
challenge. They
Yes.
did
Yeah.
kiss, but I don't think that Alandria knows it was Nick, is what she was
Yeah.
saying. That I don't think she ever found that out. But they have kissed, and I think that they both said it was very good.
Wow.
So
Yeah. That's
maybe
an
one day.
interesting point to think about. But yeah, with Jeremiah and Huda, I just feel like it's just bound to not not continue. But we'll have to see what's gonna happen with the bombshells that's gonna happen tonight, tomorrow when this is up released. We'll have already known, but just excited for that. In the moment right now, it hasn't come out. Well, actually, it's
It
about to come
actually
out
probably has, but
right now.
it is
But I know with
literally now, right now, 8 o'clock as we film this. I'm excited to see Paige DeSorbo on this
yeah.
episode. Very excited for that. Yeah, I can't wait.
I know. And with who do you think with Jalen and Pepe who they're gonna choose? I know we kind of already talked about it, but do you think there's options for anyone else or just Hannah and Alandria for them?
Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to
That's
happen.
what I would have picked for
Yeah.
them.
I think
Yeah.
some people are like, oh, maybe instead of Pepe with Hannah, maybe Pepe with Amaya, but I really don't think that that's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, we'll see very shortly. But any other thoughts from this season so far, Mel, you want to share?
I think I got all my takes out.
This was therapeutic.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining, Mel. This was so much fun to debrief all of Love Island with you. And we'll be keeping up every week. Of course, watching Love Island every night, except for Wednesdays, which Wednesday night I actually felt like I was like, oh my God, I should be doing something. It's not on. Like,
I
what's
know.
happening?
We're so spoiled. I'm like, why isn't there Love Island on? There
Yeah.
should be Love Island. I feel like it's been forever since I've watched an episode, and it's been literally 24 hours.
No, I watched After Sun last night too, and I don't even really enjoy watching After Sun all the time. But this time, honestly, I actually did like this After Sun. This was better than the first After Sun.
Definitely better than the first, yeah. But I was excited because Sully and Ayal are exes technically from Love Island games, so I was like, ooh, I wonder what that dynamic's going to be like. And I did feel a little bit of awkwardness, but it was fine. Like
It
it
was
wasn't, yeah.
they barely even talked about. They didn't really talk about it very much.
Yeah, just at the very, very beginning, they mentioned it, but I felt like he felt fine, and then I think she was like a little bit like quiet, I guess, in the very beginning with that when that was conversation was happening, I was like, "Ooh, there's probably something a little bit more here than we know about." But no, it was fine. Yeah, it was a good episode, I thought.
I can't believe they
Yes.
fly out Janae and Serena to all the way to Fiji just for that. Like I don't understand.
I know, and like it seems like someone like Paige, like they're flying her out to Fiji just to host this challenge, and then like she's leaving. Like I hope that she does something more than that.
Yeah, it's like more travel time than she's actually in Fiji.
Yeah, like at least they should have had her on After Sun or something. Like, because I feel like if they're not going to have her on next week at this point, like that would she'd be there for a week. So I felt like they should have gotten a little something more out of that than just having her host that little challenge. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for listening, everyone. Make sure you're following us as well on social media at Let's Chat Reality on all forms of social media. And just subscribe wherever you get your podcast so that you can keep updated each week with all of our episodes. So thanks again, Mel, for joining us. And we'll talk to y'all again next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye everyone.